Ah, well. Here we are again. Hi. Sorry for the delay. Yes, usually we are starting here at 7 p.m. sharp. Technical difficulty say we are 25 minutes behind our schedule. And that is fine. That is what we have to learn to acknowledge. We don't force time, we don't force nothing. We just go with the flow. Go with the flow so we can understand that when we acknowledge that we are not in control of everything, we'll understand how to move along in time, right? And when we learn how to move along, okay. Ooh, my goodness. When we learn how to move along in time, when we learn how to move, oh my goodness. When we learn how to move along in time, we'll understand that life itself defines how we move along, right? Life itself say, hey, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do, and all this good stuff. So what we are going to do today, we are going to continue. We're just going to go. We're just going to go. It is not our normal, it's not really our normal streaming. Again, because we are behind schedule or regular schedule. But anywho, this is a Question Live show with your host, Verona Willis-Brown. Yes, that is more. Verona Willis-Brown is here. We are here. We are in our lovely season. We're in our season of abundance. Still, we are continuing our season of abundance. We are continuing our season of overflow. So you know what we do up in here? We are in season 10, 11 of the Question Live show. Yes. So I want to thank each and every one of you. You know, the fan came out. Each and every one of you who have been on this platform, who have watched and supported this platform over the past 300 episodes. Yeah, that's mean we are growing, we are going, we are growing, we are flowing, we're glowing. We do a lot of things on this platform. This is a teaching platform. So when we come on in here, we come on in here to learn a thing or two. Our main objective here is to teach you that we are supporting each other. We have a mantra here that we support each other, because when we support each other, we will grow. The more we grow, the stronger we will be. And the stronger we will be, the better the world is. We replenish the world much better. Everybody's on a journey called life. And because we are all on this journey called life, there is a part of that journey that we call success. Everybody want to have a success story. Absolutely. If you don't, then you let me know why you don't want to have a success story. Everybody want to have a success story. And everybody's success story defines by itself. My success story is not yours not mine. But however we look at it, each success story come together and we bring it together and we replenish the earth. Because that is the main objective, is to replenish the earth with our gifts, our talent, our passion, our expectation, intentions, and goal. So we want to replenish the earth as we go along, right? So this is what I'm saying to you. No matter who you are, no matter what position you're in at this point, whether you're the prime minister, the president, the governor, teacher, student, doctor, patient, it doesn't matter who you are, what position you're in. The fact of the matter that we need each other. When we come in as with each other, we'll understand that when we work together, we will have a better world. Yep, if I contribute a little bit of my gift to you, that will help you. If you contribute a little bit of your talent to me, that will help me. So we need each other. And we got to understand this very, very much, that we need each other. Yeah, if you're a prime minister, don't you know you have a team? If you're a president, don't you have a team? Absolutely. So we all need each other. So we got to understand this message, and we got to be very conscious that when we acknowledge this, we will see that it is a better world out here. Good. Now that I say that, now that I get that off my chest, again, I am your host, Verona Willis-Brown. I want to say to you, if this is, absolutely, if this is your first time, first time. This is your first time tuning in on this channel. Are you free enough channel? First time you see Verona Willis-Brown, first time you heard of the Question Live Show, I want to acknowledge your presence. I want to acknowledge you. So if this is your first time coming in, come on in the room and type in your name right there in the comment section or wave to me and say, hey, it is my first time, because I like to acknowledge people's presence. I like to let you know that I see you. Yeah, I see you. And when I see you, guess what's going to happen? You see me, I see you. We work together, honey. Yep, that's how we do. So I would like for you to just wave to me, say me, put your name, say something so I could acknowledge your presence. So you get a big auto welcome if this is your first time. Yes. Now, for those of you who are tuning in for the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, any number after one, simply means you are a returning audience. And if you are a returning audience, I say to you, thank you for being here again. Thank you for returning. Your presence makes a difference as well. And as I acknowledge you, what is happening when you show up, I show up, we show up together, and guess what happened? Our family expands. First timer, let me go back to you again. For you, first timer, see those who've been there, they already know this, that I am from a huge family. I mean, huge family. And because I am from a huge family, when you come in as a first time, what is happening? You're just adding up to my family. You are expanding my family. And let me tell you, we got love, we got laughter, we got all sort of stuff going on in my family. Okay. So when you come on in, you're just a new baby of the family. And I get so excited when there's a baby. You pregnant, you call me, I'm like, woo-wee. I start bringing up baby clothes, I start bringing up gifts and names and all sort of stuff. Okay. I get really, really excited. I'm like the volunteer godmother or the volunteer auntie for somebody's baby or something. Okay, I'm online godmother. I'm a whole lot of so I'm a whole lot of love for babies. So you are a newbie. You are now the new baby of the family, and I want to love on you and give you all that loving, yes, indeed, and all that attention. So each time you say that you're new, I'm going to keep on calling with you. I'm going to keep on pointing you out. I'm going to keep on pointing, because it is so important that we get acknowledged. Not accepted, acknowledged, okay? Sometimes we like not accepted, but not acknowledged. Yeah, I want to acknowledge you. So yes, indeed, and I want to say this again for first time, because those who've been here, they already know. First time, I want to say this all the time, that every time I say something, most of the time I say something, most of the time I have a topic, it is going to be related to farming. It is going to be related to farming. Why? Because I'm a farmer's baby girl. Yes, indeed. I am a farmer's baby girl. So most of the topic, it is an analogy to farming. Most of the content that I drop here, I am going to put farming in there as some form of reference. Yes. So, yes, my parents were farmers, and I grew up on the farm, and I lived it. Yep, indeed, I loved it, because let me tell you something about farming. Farming is a seed. So anywhere that we are going in life, we must drop a seed of goodness, seed of love, seed of peace, seed of prosperity, seed of saying we are together, seed of boldness, beauty, and all. And you get the drift. You get the drift. So we saying that anywhere we go, whether you're online, offline, clothesline, farmline, whatever line, drop some seeds so those seeds could grow. When those seeds grow, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have a tree. When you have a tree, what's going to happen? Branches start going that way. And then guess what? Possible, most likely, yeah, high percentage, that you're going to have some fruit on that tree. Some vegetables, something going to be growing on that tree. If there's a tree that is not bearing fruit, is one of those trees that is written somewhere, that a cursed fig tree that don't have no fruit. But beside the fact of the matter, God gave me this vision to come here, and I come here showing up. So whether I am 25 minutes behind my normal schedule or not, I'm just saying that it is great to be here, because let me tell you something, life got away, right? So here we are, about 25 minutes behind our normal schedule. And it is fine because that is what we do. We show up and we show up to say, hey, we still here. Right? So I want to say to you, welcome, 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 welcome. It is not our normal, it's not even our normal screen, but okay. Welcome again. So I'm here, first timers, listen up. First timers here, we have people called VIPers. Have you ever heard of it before? Maybe not. So you're going to hear of it right here on the Question Live Show. VIPers are those people who come on and support the channel, be here, they're present, they come in with an intention. But not only they're coming with an intention, they come in and they take action. When you come in and you take action, what happened? Because I am a VIP, yes indeed. I am a VIP. So when the audience come on in with an intention, with an expectation, with a goal, and they drop in and they take action, what has happened? They earn a badge. So I don't have the badge on this live, so we will put the badge at another time. They earn a badge called the VIP. And I see one VIP in the audience, and that is VIP. Paulette is in the house. VIPers, they get front row seat. So if you don't have your seat, that means if you don't have a front row seat, that means you're not a VIP. That means you got to continue to come on and to contribute so you can earn a badge of a VIP. Yes, we do have a couple of them up in here. So yes, indeed. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We are in the month of May. May came in and May is running out of here like somebody is running after her. Let me tell you, on this show, we like to celebrate. Yep. We like to celebrate, whether it is your small win, big win, half win, some win, whatever. It is graduation time, all that good stuff. So whatever is it that you have to celebrate, we like to celebrate with you. So put it in the comment section right there. Put it in the comment section so we can know what is it that we are celebrating with you. Now that we talk about celebrating, we would like to acknowledge the fact that May is Women's Month. Women's Month. And also it is Mental Health Awareness Month. And some more stuff happening. But I want to focus more on Mental Health Awareness Month. Even though we are running, but I believe that mental health awareness should not just be a month. Thank goodness for the person who said, let's give it a month. But for me, it is every day. Mental health awareness is every day. Why? Because we want to check on our mental status every day. Is it up, down, sideways? We want to acknowledge our emotions every day. We want to acknowledge our mind every day. And that is one of the terms that we want to use tonight. And tonight's topic, the acknowledgement. What is it that we have acknowledged? So we want to say, for those of you out there in the category of dealing with mental issue, mental challenge, mental something, mental, not the mental that you eat, mental mean the mind, we want to say that we are sending positive energy out there to you. Hey, we all going through some mental something, just to let you know. You don't believe me? Check the mind status, check their status. Every last one of us go to some form of mental something. Mental challenges is a whole different level than mental issue. Mental health is overall mental health. When we are talking about health, mental health, we're talking about how healthy is the mind. How healthy is the mind. So every single one of us, maybe you're just born like one right now, you're just born. You might not sit in there like, let me check my mental status, right? You're just born right now, yesterday, today. But let me tell you, as adults, teenagers, young adults coming up, you start walking, talking, something is happening right here. A child learning to walk, mental status. A child learning to talk, mental status. So let us check in with ourselves every single day to see what is the status of our mind. And let me tell you this, let us check in with our good friends and family. Good friends and family. Oftentimes we don't check in with the good friends and family. No, we don't. We don't check in with the good friends and family because what? We say that they're good. So we say, we don't need to check in with them, but check in with the good friends and family, check in with the good neighbors, check in with all those good people. Good people got to check in their mental status as well. So let us jump into tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is talking about what have you acknowledge this week, right? Oftentimes we hear, you accomplished something. Oftentimes this is what we hear. You are accomplishing, you have accomplished, you this, and we always use the big word. The big word is accomplish, right? But no, the other big word is acknowledge. Let me tell you something before I go any further. For those of you who are new, I like to talk about me. Yeah. I like to talk about me and my story, growing up, my family, and all that good stuff. And if you've been, because you're new, you don't know this, but I like to throw in my family story. I like to talk about my daughter and how I taught my daughter and all this good stuff. Why? Because it is my story. Why? Because you can tell my story. My story is mine and it is personalized. And I am the only one that can tell my story the way it's supposed to be told. Okay? It's not from who say what, how. No, I am the one telling my story. So for first time, I always use my daughter most of the time when I'm talking about something relating to learning and at school and all sort of stuff. Yeah, because I'm a big supporter of education. So as I talk about big word, right? Big word is accomplishment. Big word is acknowledgement and all that stuff. So what I used to do with my daughter in reading, I would give her the big word, give her a big word. So listen to me, mentors, teachers, whoever you are. If you want your children or your any children around you that you're teaching, if you want your children to increase on their vocabulary and expand their mind, expand their education, their knowledge, what you do, you give them a big word. Yep. So what I used to do with my daughter, I used to give her a big word like, accomplishment. Do you see how big that word is? Accomplishment. That's so big. My God, it is a big word, right? So I would give her that big word. And when I give her that big word, I would tell her, I would ask her, what is the word, right? Oh, she tried to pronounce it. But when I see that she's not getting it, I said, okay, the big word is accomplishment, right? Now, good. But what I would do with that, I said, take that big word, go in there and see how many words you can get out of that big word, right? So I did this so many years back. Go in there, pick out the word, pick out the words out of that big word. And what I used to do, I would sit with her and say, okay, let's see who's gonna get the most words. She could have rewarded, but I rewarded her, right? So you have to find incentive to reward your children. You don't just reward them. You find some form of something. So I always reward them based on education. So she would get an accomplishment and she would find all the words. What is one of the words in there? Men. And also the stuff and pits and sit and all this stuff. So if you can do this to your children or the children in your care, find a big word like accomplishment and find accomplishments. You can add the S to it and see how many words they could get out of it. And then guess what? We could do like a whole live and we could do a whole game on this, okay? So this is what I used to do with my daughter and it works well. Her vocabulary was just about to rule. So you can try that as well. So good. So because I'm saying that we oftentimes talk about accomplishment, but we don't oftentimes talk about acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is another big word. Acknowledgement is saying that I see you. That's what acknowledgement is saying, that I see you. I acknowledge your presence. I acknowledge this. And let me tell you something about acknowledgement. What have you acknowledged? That is a question for tonight. What have you acknowledged for this week? Paulette is tuning in. Paulette, don't forget to share the live. Invite somebody else to come on in because I might ask you a question. You might need some help. Paulette is tuning in on the live. Anybody else tuning in on the live, say hi to us. Say hi to us. We are family here. We don't like when you're in the back, just peeping in. So we like for you to come on in and sit with us, dine with us. So what we could be replenished together, so we can be fat up together, so we can grow together, yes, and be healthy together. So we pour into you, you pour back to us, and we just serve each other, right? So here, listen up. When we talk about acknowledgement, what is it that you have acknowledged this week. Well, actually, we're in Tuesday, Wednesday, because some countries they're in Wednesday right about now. So we're in the 21st and the 22nd. But we're in May. All right, so let me say, what is it that you have accomplished so far? So far from May, from the beginning of May to now, or we're just going to minimize it and give us a small win and say, what is it that you have accomplished in this week? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So let's say 3 or 4 days. What is it that you have accomplished thus far? No, not accomplished. Acknowledge. Let's get our words right. What is it that you put in the answer, put in the chat? What is it that you have acknowledged this week? What is it that you have acknowledged in your life this week or around you? Just what is it that you have acknowledged for this 3 or 4 days? Since Sunday. What is it that you have acknowledged? Let us learn. When you put your answer in the comment section, what will happen? We will learn together. Just as a student needs a teacher needs a student. None. Absolutely. Either one of them cannot go by themselves. So therefore, we are students and teachers at the same time. So when you teach me, I teach you, we learn together and we grow together. That is the whole point of supporting each other. Yeah? Good. Now, if I say something and it resonates with you, put in the comment section, yes, with an exclamation sign. Or say, I got it. Or like, ooh. Right? Whatever effect you want to put it there, put it there. So put it in the comment section, what is it that you have accomplished this week? You see, in life, we go through life with emotion. We go through life, and we go through life in the motion of time and go through times, and we just go through life. But let me tell you something. I oftentimes stop sometimes and just close my eyes, feel my heartbeat, feel my mind, feel the mind, but you can feel the pumping, and all sort of stuff and all this good stuff, right? So sometimes I stop and just close my eyes and just feel my heartbeat. Or just listen to the silent voice inside of me. So it's very important that we pause through life. Paul says, I acknowledge self-care should be optimal. Yes. So we want to acknowledge this. Self-care. What is it? For those of you who don't know this, I like to turn things around. So when Paula says self-care, I like to say caring for self. Caring for self requires for you to pause, gather your thoughts, put it together, put it in order, balance, build boundaries, all sort of goodness for yourself. Caring for yourself. See? Self-care. Caring for yourself. If you don't care for yourself, you cannot care for nobody, not even the rat, the dog, the roach. Okay? You cannot even care for a pet if you don't know how to care for yourself. So that is very important that we acknowledge the importance of caring for ourselves. As Paul said, self-care. So it's very important that we acknowledge this. You see, what happened in life is we got to learn to acknowledge our emotions, right? Our emotions are real. Our emotions belong to us. Our emotions are personalized. Our emotions are individualized. Our emotions are ours. And we got to stop and acknowledge our emotions. What are some of the emotions that we felt? What are the emotions that we are feeling right now? Sometimes, as we are talking about mental health, sometimes we get anxious. Sometimes we get sad. Sometimes we get happy. So what happened with our emotion? You do a roller coaster business, right? You go on a roller coaster. So when we acknowledge the fact that, okay, I'm feeling sad today. Now, how can I counteract that sadness? Because for every emotion, there is a counteract emotion. For every emotion, the opposite is sitting there waiting to grab it in. Right? So if we sit and we acknowledge the fact that our emotions are running, we hear the term, my emotion running wild. Right? We hear this term all the time. We hear it. It's not a new statement. We hear it. My emotions are running wild and my mind running wild, right? So when we acknowledge the fact that our emotions are very much alert, our emotions are standing there saying, hey, I'm right here. Our emotions are very much alive. And right there's a sad emotion. Now, find the counteract and work it. Don't bypass that sad emotion, because oftentimes what happens, we bypass the sad emotion and we put on a smiling face that we are not sad. Yes, you are sad. Yes, you are sad. Oftentimes we get anxious and we bypass it and we go like we mellow and we good. You are anxious. Yes. Oftentimes we get listen, there's a word called depressed. Let me talk about depression for a quick second. Depression is another level of sadness. For those of you who don't know this, let me tell you this. Depression is another level of sadness. It started with sadness. I'm a little bit sad today. And what happened? You bypass that sadness because you did not acknowledge it. You bypass it and you tuck it somewhere. Back here. And what happened with that sadness that you tuck back here? It starts fester. And when it starts fester, boom, 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 boom. It starts fester. And what happened? It starts becoming like that. So depression starts feeding. Right? That sadness that you hid back here, it starts feeding up and start getting bigger. It fester. And then it starts saying, no, you are going to be depressed. That's what depression is. Depression is that hidden sadness that was never acknowledged, and it fester. And then when it fester, it just explode or it just grow into depression. Now, depression have another level. Depression got another level. Let me make this clear. I am not a medical doctor, but I know a thing or two. So what I am saying here, you can verify when you get off here. Yeah, you can verify. It's up to you. When we get to that level of depression, that simply means that's double up sadness, because we didn't accomplish the first part of the sadness. Like, I'm sad. No, why am I sad? How can I work around the sadness? Because there's always a contributing factor. Always a contributing factor. So now what is it? That sadness that got tucked back here, we just like, you go in this corner, you go on timeout, and the person is like, I'm growing from that sadness. I'm growing. And boom, boom, you start going down. Depression. Just the way it sounds, depressed. That's the way it sounds. It's pressing on your mind. You see that word right there? Press. It's pressing on your thoughts. It's pressing on that sadness and like, ooh, I got bigger now. Because what happened? Depression got big. And little sadness is like this. 3 little words. Depression that and got bigger. And now it's doing this. On the mind. It's doing this and the sadness like, ooh, you little. I know I'm getting big. Let us not find ourselves into that place of depression because we fail to acknowledge the first ounce of sadness that showed up, and we pretend that we are not sad. Let us not wear a mask. Let us not camouflage our sadness. Let us not camouflage our emotions. It is there. We got to find a practical way how to work around our emotions. When we don't acknowledge our emotion, we are not being truthful to ourselves. We are not being truthful to ourselves, and we are not being truthful to others. You don't believe me? Try it. If you don't believe me, Go right now and sit there and you tell yourself that you are feeling a certain way, because right there is your emotion and you're saying, I'm feeling a certain way. How am I supposed to handle this? You go right ahead and try it. I can't see you, so you can practice it right now. You can acknowledge it right now. You can stop for a moment because I can't see that you are there, and you can take a moment and say, how am I feeling right now? What are my thought process? Where my mental status is, and see. Right, watch and see. That is checking in on your mental status. That is checking in on your mental health. We have to come to a point where we eliminate this mental issue or minimize it. It should not be a thing. It should not even be, it just should not be a thing when we can just acknowledge and be truthful to ourselves. Now, depression, I talk about depression because depression now move up past sadness. And inside of depression, we have a lot, I call them a lot of little thing in there, a lot of little people in there, okay? Because depression, now the next level gone up to bipolar, and then it got up to more stuff, okay? So again, I'm not a medical doctor. I just know a thing or two. So depression, the next level of depression, you're going up to another, to an extreme level of sadness. Why? Because the little sadness, it got tucked in. So the little sadness that you had from the initial sadness, it got wiped out. It got trampled on. It got tucked out. It got, yeah. So let us learn to acknowledge that we are happy, we are sad, we are joyful, we are anxious. Whatever the emotions are, there is a contributing factor. And when we go and we find a contributing factor, there is a counteract for that very emotion. So right now, I want to say to those of you who are dealing with mental issues, let's go into the contributing factor of the initial sadness or the initial issue. There's something that contributes to it. Good. Next thing that we want to do, we want to acknowledge our faults, flaws, and failures. Yeah. When we acknowledge these things, what will happen? We will learn how to react to adjustment. We will learn how to go in and say, I would like to adjust my faults because they're yours. Hello, somebody? Anybody? Your flaws, they're yours. See, I got a flaw, I got a pimple, I got all, they're mine. Okay? Your flaws belong to you. They're yours. They're not mine. I can't say Paula's flaws are my flaws. No. Paula can't say my flaws are her fault. No. Those are hers. So we have to learn how to acknowledge our flaws. Stop. You know, like when you go to the doctor and the doctor said, time to do an x-ray, maybe on your teeth, your stomach, wherever. And they're like, zoom in. We got to scan our body. We got to scan ourselves. We got to scan. All right? We got to scan and find our flaws. And we acknowledge them. Like, that's mine. Let me see if I can work on it to be a little bit better. Our faults. What are our faults? What is it that we are doing that is just faulty? How can we seal those faults? Go again. I will use my farm. Growing up on the farm, you're watering the ground and the hose is faulty. What is it they're gonna do? Maybe seal it, the hose, tie a rope around it or something. But there are faulty areas in our life that we want to acknowledge them so we can seal them up. If we don't seal them up, what is going to happen? It's going to keep on releasing that which we don't want to somebody else. Right? So we got to get in. What is my fault? What are my faulty areas? How are my faulty areas looking? Do I need to put a seal on it? Do I need to sew it up? See, my mama was a dressmaker, so yeah. Do I need to sew that up? Do I need to put a button? Do I need to fix a zipper? Do I need to do all of that? Do I need to shift this that way? or something? There's a fault. There's a fault. You know, sometimes you buy clothes and you don't pay attention, and then the thing is faulty, the stitching is faulty, or there's a rip somewhere, fault. So we have them. We have them. So when we start scanning our body and see those faults, then we know how to adjust ourselves to address any situation that come up. Because now when we adjust ourselves, we know how to address our emotions, right? We know how to address our emotions, because now when we put that in place, like, so my faults are. So we can write these things down. My flaws are. I told you this is a teaching platform. Yep, I told you this is a teaching platform. So you're going to see me tell you, write something down. I believe in writing things down, because what? It expels the thoughts out of our head. Yeah, if you don't know, it's therapy. Writing is therapy, yeah. Write things down. If you want to take a moment and write down these things for yourself, like, my flaws are, you complete it. So the next one that we want to talk about is failures. What are our failures? Oh, I started this and I fail at that. Are you going to dwell on the failures, or are you just going to push yourself and say, okay, wait a minute, I need to accomplish more. I need to accomplish this. Let me push a little bit harder today because I failed yesterday. Are you going to wallow in yesterday? We don't want to wallow in yesterday, because, again, mental issue stem from these things where we wallow in something because what? We did not acknowledge the fact that, hey, we fail, our flaws, our failure, we did not acknowledge them. So most of those mental issues can be dealt with if we just acknowledge them. Yeah, acknowledge them. So our failure, okay, good. You go, you take a test, you fail. You're like, oh my God, I failed. Oh my God, let me tell you something about failure. You know how many times I failed at a test? I was never good in math. I always put myself in that, I'm never good in math. So math was a failing subject for me. Yeah. But English, we good. But math was always a failing subject for me. And I'm like, man, I'm not getting this concept of this math stuff. You know, that's not working for me. But let me tell you something. If I was dwelling on every single grade that I passed, maybe from the 5th grade, 6th grade, whatever grade, and I was failing those math course, and keep on dwelling, I wouldn't be sitting in front of you right now and telling you about this. I talked the story about how I was in class, and then it was like a big competition because I always come first. You know, I was a top student in school. And I'm not saying that to brag. Well, I could brag because, yeah. But I'm not saying it to impress nobody. I'm just saying it to impart on you that we have to look at our story, evaluate our story, scan our story, and make solid decision, right? So again, I will talk my story because I am the only one that could talk my story. Growing up in school, for those of you who don't know, yes, I am from Jamaica, and I like to represent. You see her back here, she's representing Jamaica. So yeah, I was always a top student. Yeah. But there was one girl that always, you know, we say you came first, you came second. So it's always like if you came first, second, or third. If you ever came fourth, anything below third, Lord knows you're not trying. Lord knows you fail, okay? That simply means that you are a failure. That's what they said, that you are a failure if you don't come in first, second, or third. Honey, so you know how many students got the term that they are failures? Right now, people are in high position. They were told that they are failures. People who serve in high position were told that they were failures. Yeah, you are a failing student. But let me tell you, I would go and I would be getting top student. I was always coming in first. But there was always one girl who always came in second. And boy, oh boy, it's just always me and her. I came in first, she came in second. I came in first, she came in second. But there was one school year, honey, one school year when this sister here did not make it to the first place. Woo-wee. I came in second. For me, that was failing. For me, that was failing. Because how could I switch position from first to second? That for me was failing. But now, see, if I said to myself, I just failed that class. I just failed because no, she came in first place. No, I can't fail. And I worked my tail off and I came in first the following year. Right? But I am saying this to say that if I dwell on that second place, I wouldn't strive to go in again and say, listen, I'm going back for the first place, right? I would have put myself in the position to go back in. But you see, back then, I would never learn about emotional intelligence. We just had to push to say that we are competitors. We never learn how to get in our emotion and use it intelligently. But now I have grown and I'm not looking back in the past, but I look at that story and I bring it here to impart on you that failures, they are yours. And when we acknowledge the fact that we failed somewhere along the line, we take those failures, we work around them, and what? We move on up. We step on up and say, hey, work a little bit harder now, come on. So today, right now, is your time to push a little bit further, tap in a little bit more. And that failing stuff yesterday, hey, I failed at that yesterday. Oh, I did bad yesterday. Oh, I spent too much money. No, I don't have no money. All sorts of stuff. You fail at the relationship and you want to hold on to the relationship. What else can I do to hold on to the relationship, right? So wherever you fail, today, right now, is the moment to put a little bit more juice. You see, Jamaica, we like the little Highland spice and thing. Put a little sauce on it. Put a little Jamaican spice on it. Yep, put a little pepper. They say put a little pep in your step. Put a little pepper on the thing and let the thing roll, right? So right now you have three things to write about. My flaws are. My failures are. My faults are. So those are three lines that you write. What are your flaws? What are your faults? And what are your failures? Now it is up to you to scan yourself, scan your mind, scan your body, scan yourself, and find out how you are going to fill in those sentences. My faults are, my flaws are, and my failures are. And let us work out those nits and grits, right? Let us work on them. Let us see how we can tighten up some bolts. Let us see how we can turn some lock. Let us see how we can open some doors of opportunity. Because when we don't acknowledge these little teeny things, they might sound small, but honey, they're not small. When we acknowledge these things, guess what happens? Some windows or some doors of opportunity might just wide open. Yeah, they might just open and you're like, ooh, if I did not. Because if I was dwelling on that girl, keep on coming in first, and then she came in first at one time, right? It was just at one time. Then she came in first, and I came in second. If I was dwelling on the fact that I failed back in how many grades, you know how many grades I had? So many grades back how many years ago, okay? And if I was still dwelling on it, I would not be your host today. Absolutely not. I would not have been your host because I would be still sitting like, oh, coach, he came first. Oh my God. Oh, I'm a failure. So that's my story, right? So whatever your story don't gotta be mine. Your story's not mine. Whatever your failing story, you can add it up to your statement. My failures are my flaws, faults, and failure. And you write them down, you look at them, study yourself to be truthful to yourself, right? Study yourself to be truthful. So when you look at them, you see, you don't got to share with us, but you share with yourself and you work on yourself, develop yourself, and then come forward again, and we will replenish the earth. Good and dandy. Good. Now the next thing that we really want to acknowledge, and I say it all the time here, if you are new, Please wave to us. Let us know that you are new, because I say this all the time. It is my statement. It is my mantra. It is my mission statement. It's just everything for me. When we support each other, we will have a better earth. No one, I mean, absolutely no one cannot succeed by themselves. Nope. No one. I don't care who you are. I don't care the amount of materialistic things that you have. You did not accomplish it by yourself. You did not. So we want to get into the next level of acknowledgement. I want to acknowledge the fact, this is what we want to acknowledge, that we need. Yeah, I know when I get out my fan, you know what happened. Oops. Yeah, today we had some good hot weather. Woo, Jesus, thank you, Lord. We had some good weather today. Lord, wherever y'all are and you are having cold weather, I'm very sorry for y'all. Today we had a summer day, my kind of weather. But anywho, so if y'all know, if new people, if I get up my fan, it's a whole different story. But for those who've been here, you know, when I get up my fan, my fancy fan, I need for it to fix. This is what happened. But anywho, we cannot go nowhere. Let's get this in our conscious self. Let us get this in our conscious mind right now, right this very moment. We cannot get nowhere. I mean, absolutely nowhere, unless we are working together. You don't believe me? Go in a corner, stuck in a corner somewhere. The odds are you're not supporting each other unless you're in the grave, and you might be supporting the dead person next to you. You're supporting the grave. So either way you look at it, you're supporting somebody getting support, because you're supporting the earth. You're supporting the grave, the dirt. You dead, the person burying you, that's it. We need each other. So no matter, regardless of how we look at life, we need each other. So what is the next thing we want to do? We want to acknowledge the fact that we need to support each other. Okay, let me say this again. We want to acknowledge the fact that we need to support each other. Now, when I'm talking about support, oftentimes when we hear the word support me, support me, support me, support me, we oftentimes gather in our mind, in our thoughts, in our little head, in our brain, little head, big brain, we put it in there. That what? We're talking about money. Support is not always about money and materialistic thing. We're like, oh, can you support me? We think about money. No. Support simply means that you are showing up and acknowledging somebody. You're saying, sis, I see you. Bro, I see you doing a thing. I see you striving. I see you making a step. I see you moving forward. I see you you're bringing your dreams to life. I see you. That's what support means. If you're on some social media somewhere, you might see somebody post that it resonates with you. Click, you press like. That is support. You see somebody adding on something to you, click. That's support. You see here on this channel, we drop juicy contents and golden nuggets. So when there's a juicy content, you say, hey, let me share this with somebody down the road. Let me share this with my neighbor. You see, when we do that, what is happening? We are sharing the goodness that is being served. Now, I might serve you, but you might not be able to digest, but I'm still going to serve you. But we got to understand that we need each other. So when we are talking about acknowledging the fact that we need to support each other, yes, let this be a statement that I need to support somebody else. Support yourself and support somebody else. Support another person. I acknowledge the fact that I need to support somebody else. Let us get into this consciousness of finding this little thing inside of our mind. I need to support somebody else, right? And when we go into this habit of supporting others, you will see that life is a little bit smoother. Because now we're not all about us, because God did not create us by ourselves to sit here. Did not just create. God created one of me, but He just did not create me. He created you and I. He created Paulette. He created whoever you are watching. God created all of us. And I said, listen, that's the reason why I didn't create just one person. I create multiple. We be fruitful and we multiply. When we say fruitful and multiply, we don't mean just go have babies. No. Babies simply mean that you're birthing your passion, you're birthing your dreams, you're birthing your goals. That's what we are talking about, okay? So let us be fruitful and multiply with our gifts and our talents. So let us acknowledge the fact that we need to support each other. Now, the next one is, because we have 2 more to go. The next session that we want to get to, when we acknowledge this, we want to acknowledge the fact that we want to be in the present. Audience, I'm not seeing you, you see me. But I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, okay? Acknowledge how is it to be in the present and let go of the past. What is it? You're going to sit there in this moment right now. You close your eyes, or if you want to keep your eyes open, it is up to you. It's optional. And when you get in that mode, you are going to scan again your thoughts. And you say, okay, today is Tuesday, today is Wednesday, whatever day it is. You put it in there and say, I am in the present. We talk about the powerful words that come after I am. So when we start saying, I am in the present, what happened? You start feeling where there's tension. We start feeling where there's joy. We start feeling where there's happiness, sadness. We start scanning our body, and we are in the present moment and say, you know what? I'm in the present. Is your mind wandering? Is your mind listening to me and like, oh, let me see if my pot is burning. Oh, let me see if I need to go get the children. Oh, let me go see if I need to go call the husband. Let me go feed the dog. Let me go move to see if there's a rat, cat, roach. What is happening to your mind? When you are in the presence of what acknowledge that we are in the present right now. How is it that your heartbeat is pumping? Because when we are in the present, the mind and the heart, they're holding a conversation. They go back and forth. Right? They go back and forth. So is your mind going faster? Because listen to me. Our thoughts go faster than our words. Right? So now you are not going to be saying anything. I mean, I don't know what you're saying while I'm talking. This is not a monologue, okay? This is a dialogue. So talk back to me by sending a message in the comment section. Good. But you stop for a moment. I'm giving you the permission to stop for a moment and acknowledge your present scenario. Present. So whether you are the husband, the wife, the cat, the dog, wherever, just acknowledge the present moment. What am I doing with myself? What am I doing for others? How am I doing this? How can I be better? All these stuff. All right. So you're getting there. You scan your heartbeat. Scan the heartbeat. Scan the mind. And you see that you are in the present. Are you in the present, or are you just dwelling on yesterday I did this? Yesterday I did that. Oh, last week somebody did this to me. Oh, 15 years ago somebody did this to me. Oh, 30 years ago. And you start dwelling on the past. But I want to say to you, it is time to relocate from the past and come here. Let us acknowledge the present. When we acknowledge the present, you see that life is a little bit brighter. Yes, life is a little bit brighter when we stay in the present. Come in and get here and just stop here like, past is gone. I can't go back there. You can never go back to the past unless you continue to hold yourself hostage there. So the next thing, that is what we want to do. We want to acknowledge being in the present and let go of the past. Mental health is where these are contributing factors when we don't let go and we gather all these things up in our mind. Mental issues is dealing with the mind. So we want to get in the mind and say, let's scan. I want to be the present. I want to be thankful. I want to be grateful. I want to say, oh my goodness, I am happy being. Okay, I am sad. Yes, I wanted this. When we start saying that we are so thankful, we're so grateful, when we want to list the things of saying, I am grateful for my family, I'm grateful for the love, I'm grateful for the joy I'm building up, I am grateful for the step that I take, I am grateful that I made a step forward. When we start doing this in the present, be present with some gratitude, right? So yes, so these are a few of the ways, but we want to close tonight's episode. And if you are watching this live and you are learning something, because again, this is a teaching platform. If you are learning something, if you get something here that you didn't know before and you learn it, put it in the comment section so somebody else can learn it, because we are students and teachers at the same time. Okay? So if you have a comment regarding all the things that I listed here, these are just a couple that we acknowledge. Put it in the comment section as well. But the big one, yes, we are closing up with a big one, the very big acknowledgement. If we don't make this big acknowledgement, where are we going? The big acknowledgement is that there is a God that saw you, created you, put inside of you greatness, gifts and talent, passion, expectation, dreams and visions. There is a God. We must acknowledge the fact that God is the one that's keeping you. God is the one that's saying, I'm strengthening you. God is that one. So we must acknowledge that there is a God. And whoever you want to call you a God, you go ahead and call you a God. But I'm just letting you know that there's a higher being greater than what you see right here. Go in the mirror and say there's a higher being, because when we start saying there's a higher being, simply mean that we are elevating to the higher version of ourselves, to the best, because this is not the best version of me. Okay? When we acknowledge that there is a better version of this, then we know that, hey, I am now checking my mental status. And when we acknowledge that fact, then guess what? Our mental status starts becoming healthier. Okay? There is, yes, when we start acknowledge the fact that, oh, how I pin this one. When we start acknowledge the fact that there is a God, and that God is saying that you are in my image. So simply mean if we are in the image of God, there's a higher version of us waiting for us to merge in. When we merge in, what happened? We accomplish our greatness. So we must acknowledge this. It is a requirement. It is a must. It is a need. It is just what it is, that we must we must acknowledge the fact that we have a higher version of ourselves. A higher version of ourselves. So with that said, I want to pause this episode and give you an opportunity to write down the very things that you need to work on. Because when we work on ourselves, we can work with others. Oh, excuse me. My goodness. And I don't have my water. When we write things down and work on ourselves, then we are good to work with others. So thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, excuse me. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Question Live Show with your host. Who is your host? Moi, Verona Willis-Brown. Bye. All their flaws, faults, and failures. So let's take stock of ourselves. Bye.